Trent on the call from the Alaska Club. Trent, why don't you quickly introduce yourself and your position in the company and what you do?
Sure. Trent Bough. I'm Vice President of Membership Development and Personal Training here at the Alaska Clubs. Been here almost 10 years. So started in the industry at 24 Hour Fitness in 2002. So over 20 years in the industry, fell in love with it very quickly, and then fell in love with the business aspect as we moved forward. So happy to be here.
Awesome. And how long now, as of this recording, have you been playing around with the Prospect Wizard?
Wow, I
Give or
think we're
take.
at about we're at about 6 months from kind of the start of it. We've been really diving in probably the last 90 days into more specific and streamlined communication through the program, though.
Great. Okay. Well, let's get right to it. So let's talk. I mean, you learned about it through Rex Roundtable, right?
Yeah, that was our
Okay.
first introduction.
Right. So obviously, shout out to Eddie Talk, good friend of mine, and Integrity Square and Pete Morris. So thank you, Eddie, for that. But let's talk bottom line. What has it done for you as far as, if anything, hopefully, yes.
Yeah.
What's it done for you? Because we haven't, I want you to be 100% transparent. We didn't have a pre-call to this recording. So what's it look like for you on your bottom line, and how have your member base responded to it?
Well, I think the first part of this is we looked at the product and at first got a little bit of cold feet because our price point at the Alaska Club is not a low cost whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've been in some ways reluctant to just put the pricing on the website and put links on the website. So this was one of two of our first attempts to be more transparent, because we knew the first question that we'd get asked on Prospector is, what's your price?
How
and so
much,
you have
right?
to find a way to move past that, get to their fitness goals, get to a few more things, and book them for appointments. So what it's done for us is added a different level of communication. To be honest, we've had our forms, our web forms through HubSpot that we actually, they fill in, that we contact them. But in reality, we chase the lead when they're actually in our system and they've put their information. We're calling them for multiple days, multiple times to just get them to come in. Then the other part is we have telephone inquiries. So that's never stopped. So we have people that contact us, ask us questions when the classes are in pricing. Now with Prospect, we have the opportunity to have some people that obvious reasons and nowadays want to communicate via text, that get instant information to our locations, amenities, but also price is the number one question we're getting. And it's allowed us to communicate with those people that won't fill out the form, that won't call us. And so we've gone back and forth and going, okay, wait, does it help us? Does it not? And everything points to it's giving us people that would not have called us or would not have filled out that form. So all in all, it's been a good start for us.
And how do you thank you for that? And that's interesting, because pricing is always a big thing. And we have, companies like the Atlantic Club, also thanks to Eddie Talk on it, which is also not cheap, and a variety of different clubs at all price levels who are using this. So you already actually hinted on my next question. Like, how do you navigate, for people who obviously are coming across this, how do you navigate that discussion of price, especially if you're an upper tier club?
Yeah, so it's been a big learning curve for us, because before we had steps on the phone that we'd cover, which is really our needs analysis. We're trying to really deflect the question first and learn about what their fitness goals are. And so we have implemented a system in which we do that. So we find out what area of Alaska they're in, because we have 14 locations to provide fitness and wellness for them. Then from there, we find out what amenities they're most interested in. We attempt fitness goals, but by that time they ask again. They ask that, hey, can I get pricing? And so we've now given a pretty specific range for our individual and family member. We've been transparent. So for us, this is a huge step. For the last couple of years, we've also gone online and we're doing online enrollments. But we still don't have a click link on our website. So this is the first attempt to really be transparent. So we're giving the pricing. And sometimes they go, well, what specifically? I have 2 kids, I have 2 adults, and we want to use the South location in Anchorage. And so then we get specific, but we're attempting to build value in the membership because let's be honest, if you go to our website and you look at it, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
But then you go to a competitor's website that's 10% of our cost. When you don't know fitness and you don't know the product, you think price is everything. And we've been able to do a pretty good job at getting them into the club of their interest and the amenities of their interest and booking them into appointments. But some of them leave with the information, say thank you, and move forward. And hopefully we'll gain their business as a walk-in or a guest pass, in the future.
Gotcha. And is it fair to say that some of these people, or perhaps many, have converted, like they've actually become members from it?
Yeah, absolutely. We actually just met yesterday. I met with my 2 regional directors, and we've actually embedded this into our call center. So we had a call center set up to where there's a group of people that answer all of our phone calls. Prior to that, it was the membership teams at each club would answer the phones. But what we found is very similar to our texting program, when you have multiple priorities, you have a guest at the front desk you have to take care of, and then you have a phone ringing or a text message to get back to, you're ineffective if you are trying to do all 3 of them. So we've actually centralized our texting to 1 person right now, including the regional directors as the backup. And that has allowed us to stay in the communication faster. And right now, we actually just did the math for January. We booked 30% of all inquiries into an appointment from there. We're actually pulling the stats for sales, but we know that the shows are they're better than the telephone inquiries or the web forms, because remember, with the web forms, they fill it out. We're calling them back within an hour. Sometimes we don't even get them back on the phone. With the text, they're in the pocket right there, and we're moving them directly we use VFP next into our program. We move them directly in. And so it's absolutely shown, a lot of value. Our conversion percentage on those, because those are the people that want quick information. Some of those are just looking, but others, they're ready to purchase. And before they'd have to jump through 1 or 2 hoops. Now there's no hoop. And so also used it to send the direct link. We use Sneeze It as well. So if you show interest, at the end of last month, we actually took those 500 that inquired to us, and we actually sent them the enrollment link. And we got probably 6 or 7 within the first hour to enroll on our membership because they inquired previous.
Jesus, man. I swear, I couldn't have scripted this call better. Like, we didn't jump on a call.
We didn't practice.
No,
we didn't practice. No,
this. Man, oh man, you just covered. That's it. Interview's over. Take care. Have a good weekend. like you literally answered every other question I had. So just let me back up a step, because I'd love to hear how you mentioned Sneeze It. We know those guys, like those guys. So exactly how it's on the alaskaclub.com website, right? It's only there, or you have it in the call center too? I'm a little confused on that.
Yeah, so we've decided we've had 2 before, but we only have 1. It's on the front page of the Alaska Club, right? And it's specific to membership, as different than a lot of organizations where they say, are you PT or membership accounting? We decided to start just membership. Right. And it says interested in membership. And it's a very simple, click button. So it's 1 on the front page of the website.
Got it. Okay. And then when that comes in, I remember looking in the back end of your account, it's yourself and 3 other users, right? The regional folks?
Yeah, the regional folks, and now the call center person that's actually diving into it as well too.
Got it. Okay. So as people know who know the Wizard, right? This was developed by a really smart guy. He's not trying to compete with ABC or VFP or Mind Body. This is kind of a great little bolt on. So you said that, and it has the Zapier integration, of course. So how are you, and this has not proven to be an issue with any of our clients, but because it's a standalone, but some people use the Zapier integration to push those leads into ABC or whatever they're using. How do you guys do that?
Yeah, so this was a question that you and I went over at the very beginning.
Right.
We want to integrate it, and I actually decided not to.
Okay.
So right now our forms go directly from HubSpot into VFP via Zapier link. So we do
Uh-huh.
our forms. But I looked at this as a communication vehicle, not a marketing tool, because remember, the moment you move into our CRM, VFP, we have
Yeah.
tracks set up to where we're moving through a certain call, a certain text, a certain email, and we're marketing to you. I
Yeah.
wanted to use this totally different, which we don't have anything like this in sales,
Yeah.
to communicate to people without them getting a heavy dose of marketing. So when you ask me a question, I'm really taking care of you. And so
Yeah.
we decided that we aren't going to. As of January, we started moving them manually into VFP, but they're
Uh-huh.
only assigned to that call center person, because that
Right.
call center person then can get our direction to say, okay, at the end of the month during end of promo, we want you to shoot a note to each of them and let them know about the promotion. But it's a very soft approach, because I thought putting them into VFP and them getting 12 texts when they just asked us, a simple question, and they said, I have 4 children. I was like, you know what? We don't have this anymore. So we left it as a communication vehicle that leads to marketing when they walk in our clubs.
Dude, I have had this conversation so many times.
Yeah.
You're just warming them up, right? They trust you enough to give you their most valuable piece of data, their legit cell phone number, right? You're just warming them up. You're just like turning up the stove a little bit. And I have to sometimes, with other clients, I have to reel them back in and say,
Yeah.
no, don't immediately put them into your funnel, because you're gonna scare them off, right?
Yeah.
You gotta get them to trust you a little bit and do exactly what you're doing. And I don't care, regardless of if you're a mid-tier club or a high price club, you got to just warm them up, because people will give their email all day, every day, and then it'll go into the promotions tab and they may not see it, right?
Absolutely.
But with texting, clearly, they see it. It's like a 90%, 98%, something like that open rate. It's ridiculous. So you got to have a softer approach, and you're doing it perfectly. So
yeah, one of the areas that I want to make sure with one of the things that I was very keen to was how many people were actually opting out right off the bat.
yeah,
My objective was like, I don't want to mark, I just want to answer questions.
yep,
And we had, in the first 6 weeks, one person opt out, meaning everyone was still there. And
yeah,
so I made it a point to say, I want this to be communication. Now we've dabbled into putting it into the funnel and a little
yeah,
bit, but we have very few people opt out because we're not spamming them. We're not sending them
yeah,
messages, but that conversation is still there if we wanted to pick it up, which we did at the end of last month. And it
right.
netted a handful of memberships within hours. And so, it's been very intriguing to learn. We just met on it yesterday specifically for about a half hour, and so far so good. Like I said, still learning some of the
Sure.
things, the ins and outs, looking at some of the stats that we have in here, how we're tagging the leads. It's proven to be very beneficial that we started that tagging right off the bat.
I again mentioned that, as you're well aware, on all of our, our onboarding calls there. And I say that to all clients, but can you give a little bit of without giving away your secret sauce, would you be comfortable sharing how you're working the tagging strategy?
Yeah, no, I don't have any issues with this. We know that on the front of the website, we're going to have people that reach out to us that are not membership leads. And we are in the talks right now. I'm actually meeting with the manager of accounting to decide if we want to put this into accounting's folds right now too, because you can either email or call accounting right now too. So in some ways, this might give them the ability to add on someone very quickly, or to get a link to update their payment. So there's so many reasons, but we'll move to that at a later time. The tags right now, we really are a couple or a handful of major categories: member, current member, because in the sales process, a current member won't move into any of the sales funnels of obvious reasons. So we're tagging them that. NA, we actually put that because we have people to get on and have some fun on our website, which everyone else does, and those are always fun to bring out at a board meeting. But
right.
So and then of course we have booked or sold tabs. So that means once you've said, yep, I want to go to the south location or the east location at 4 p.m. tomorrow, we move you into VFP, we book you, and we tag you booked. and then we put pending on the ones that we moved into the pricing conversation.
Yeah.
And it just ended with, yeah, thanks for the information. And so we have those two buckets, those two main buckets, book sold or pending. And that allows us to do very different things with those groups.
Love it. That's really, really well thought out.
Yeah.
That's really, really well done. So congrats. And what do you guys have? 14 locations? 14?
Yeah, we're at 14.
Yeah.
Yeah, 14 locations statewide.
Man, that's good stuff. And you're a higher price point, so it's clearly seems to be working for you. You basically covered all the other, questions, and you gave some tips for current users. Anything else maybe that you might want to add, or would you recommend this to people? Any sort of, asterisks that you want to put in there or anything like that?
Well, I think the key for us is start slow. The program could evolve to 5 other departments for us because we're the club that has everything, right? Swim lessons, tennis lessons, personal training, member accounting, a full-fledged departments, right? And so we can see it evolving, but we decided to unravel it in
slowly
in the membership department. And so yes, it's been super beneficial for us. Like I said, we get to, from a call, we do listen to our calls. We listen to quality assurance of those calls. That's really time intensive. I can click on 5 leads and I can give you what people are saying right now inside of this prospect wizard. And so it's been really good for us. But I thought the key was we started in just a closed group of individuals and partners, and we'll slowly integrate it. I think member accounting, to be honest, will be in there very soon. Sure. I don't know if personal training, but we've thought of so many different things of this, is putting this as a QR where they go to almost a dummy page that says fitness results for the day. And then you're actually talking to a coach right then and there live while you're in the club. What should I do today? And a coach responds. So there's so many like ideas that have kind of come out of left field for me, because I started in training. And so I've always had those light bulbs that have popped off. So I really enjoy the product, and you guys have been great. It's been really good. One of the things that I'd love is just to continue doing, maybe it's as a group, but reporting, continue to evolve our reporting and learning. And like I said, the tags almost do it. So we tag it to where if we could build something, it could create some workflows for business operators or club operators, because once we have to count, we count them. Once we tag them, we export it, and then we can pivot table and all that stuff. But that information is so key, and it actually changed the way that we were doing it. Because I'll be honest with you, when I tested the product, it was awesome, but the user or the health club provider potentially can get it wrong, because if I text you and then you respond back, not the automated, but you respond back.
Yep.
If you don't stay in the pocket, you've lost them. And a lot of times we do one text, I'd get a text, and then it'd be 5 hours later that the next text would come back.
Yeah.
So that's why we moved it in the call center. So we said, the moment you respond, you're in that conversation till it's over.
Right. And
that is so key for us. And that's actually our booking was at, I think, 18%, and we're up to 30 for January. And that made a big difference, because
100%.
Information, and if they ask you a second question and you don't respond, then it's not really a text message.
That's 100% true, and I say that all the time, and that's one of my biggest questions on the operation side to onboard a client. Do you have someone or multiple people who could pick up these conversations? Like another club that's with us is at Mountainside from Arizona. And there's 2 women or 3 women in their corporate offices in Scottsdale that field these inquiries, right? So as opposed to going to the individual general managers, they centralize it, they put it on mountainsidefitness.com, and it's the individual questions are fielded by 3 women at corporate. So to your point, that's super duper important. This is not an email or a contact us form. So if someone's going to do this, they're expecting a response. Yep.
And we've notified the peak times, of course, on our website, when we'll respond to you. But my group has jumped into that. But we now have the rule: if you jump into the text conversation, you're finishing it from start to finish, because
Yeah.
at the beginning, we saw a lot of them trail off for 3 hours. And then just like those phone calls, they don't answer anymore. They're like,
Right.
well, I'm over and past it. I moved on to dinner.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so now we're in the pocket, and I can tell you that's made a huge difference. And it just really gets me excited, because we haven't communicated like this really ever via text.
Right. Right. And it is a different thought process. And, there was that MIT study you and I talked about. They actually, whether you respond to via text or via phone, it's like within 5 or 10 minutes or something, if you hit a lead, the percentage of them closing goes up like 90%,
Yep.
within 10 minutes or something. So the sooner people can get back to that lead, the better, obviously. And that's a really good piece of advice. Like once you jump into that text, make sure you finish the conversation.
Yeah. Like we thought it was, well, the first response has to be there, but it wasn't focused on finishing. The finishing part has been the biggest difference, because people understand, because we have the little note, we'll get back to you between the hours of this time, and they're like, well, that's good. But the moment you start into the live convo, we're making a point to stay all the way in, because we see the conversation continue and flourish.
Yeah. I can't emphasize that autoresponder strongly enough. Like I say that to every client. It's like, that is an immediate setting expectations, because certain clubs have passed on this and said, we don't have the manpower to do it. I'm like, you guys aren't getting it. You're setting the expectations.
Correct.
And then once you get into it, and it could go, as you're well aware, it could go to multiple people. So whoever answers that, they should take your advice and finish up. But don't start until you're ready to finish. Like that's
what our regional director, I won't name him, but he'll probably see this, but he is so good, and he is so on it. He wanted to make sure he talked to them immediately. So he was answering at 10 p.m. from his couch. But then the combo would change, because he has to go to sleep too. And the combo would change, and then it'd be dead in the morning. And so we decided, like, let's be disciplined to roughly the time. So we still jump outside during the end of the month, everything else.
Right. Of course.
That moment in time really helped us, because it sets the standard for the guest or the customer to go, oh, that makes sense. And then when we're in the pocket, we stay in the pocket. So we're going to continue to evolve that and do better. And like I said, I think there's more to be learned, but also more ways that we could utilize it as well.
Yeah. Well, listen, you've been super helpful, not only for me as the guy, who likes to keep his finger on the pulse of what's going on out there, and as a nerdy marketer myself, but also to other users and hopefully future users. This is super, super helpful. So thank you. Really.
You got it, David. You got it. It's really good to see you in person again.
You as well, and I'll be seeing you face to face. I'll buy you a beer or two at our happy hour at Ursa.
I love it. I love it. I'll see you in what do we got? Almost a little over a month.
Little over a month. Time will fly, won't it?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, enjoy yourself. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Trent. I appreciate it. Take care.
Bye.
See ya.